You know, I noticed something strange the other day. The more you try to force a conversation, the faster it dies. It's like when you walk up and say, "Hey, how are you?" And in seconds, awkward silence, it's over. But then there's that person who walks into the same room, says 2 or 3 things, and everyone just stops to listen. And no, it's not because they're prettier, funnier, or more confident. It's something much deeper than that. When these people speak, the air changes. Their words have weight. And the secret isn't to talk more, it's quite the opposite. It's to talk less, but make every word count. The Stoics understood this more than 2,000 years ago. Presence is infinitely more powerful than performance. Today, I'm going to show you 6 simple phrases and a mindset that will make people naturally gravitate towards you. No pretense, no manipulation, no theatrics. And look, the 4th one is the most misunderstood of all. First thing, tell me more about it. For simple words that open doors that most people will never even see. Imagine someone says, "I'm learning to play the guitar." What do most people do? They turn the moment into a competition. "Oh yeah, I played guitar in college." Or "You should try this method I used." Suddenly, the focus shifts from the other person to yourself. The door to connection closes, and the spotlight returns to the ego. Now imagine if you simply say, "Tell me more about it," and stop talking. You listen. Not to respond, not to seem intelligent, but to genuinely understand. That's where the real connection begins. Most people spend their entire lives waiting for someone who truly wants to listen. When they finally find that person, they never forget them. Epictetus said, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." Listening isn't passive, it's presence. It's saying to the other person, "You matter enough for me to be silent." When you speak less and listen deeply, people don't leave thinking, "What an interesting person." They leave thinking, "I felt interesting talking to her." And that feeling is what makes them want to see you again. Second thing, I don't know 3 words that almost no one has the courage to say. When someone asks your opinion about something you don't understand, the instinct is to pretend, to sound intelligent, to say something vague that could mean anything. But pretense always appears. The tone becomes strange, the eyes seek approval, and confidence disappears instantly. Now imagine someone confident enough to simply say, "I don't know," calmly, without apologizing, without excuses. This honesty changes the whole atmosphere, because if the person is honest about what they don't know, you can probably trust what they do know. Socrates understood this when he said, "I know that I know nothing." It wasn't false humility, it was wisdom. Knowledge begins where arrogance ends. Insecure people need to appear knowledgeable about everything. Confident people are at peace admitting that they are not. Saying "I don't know" is not weakness, it's clarity, it's strength. And paradoxically, that's what makes others listen when you really speak. Third thing, this seems difficult when someone opens up about something painful, stress at work, a breakup, a personal failure. Your instinct may be to fix it. You should. Try this. When it happened to me, I did that. You have good intentions, but what they hear is not empathy. It's judgment. Instead, just say, "This seems difficult." You're not trying to solve it. You're not minimizing the pain. You're acknowledging it. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Be tolerant of others and rigorous with yourself." Most do the opposite. They rush to fix others while excusing their own failings. But true strength is gentleness. When you say this seems difficult, you give the person permission to feel without having to defend themselves. And in that space, people begin to heal. Not because you gave advice, but because you offered presence. They don't need your solution. They need your quietness. Fourth thing, the power of silence. This is the most difficult and most misunderstood of all. Most people are afraid of silence. The moment there is a pause in the conversation, they panic. They fill it with meaningless words, random stories, nervous laughter. They believe that silence is failure, but silence is strength. Observe someone who is comfortable with it. In a group, this person rarely speaks, and when they do speak, everyone listens. Because their silence before speaking signals that what comes next matters. They don't rush to fill the air. They let the silence do the work. Seneca said, "Silence is a lesson learned through much suffering." Those who have faced themselves are no longer afraid of silence. They realized that silence is not empty. It is full of attention, full of power. When you stop running from silence, you stop running from yourself. You listen better, think more clearly, and your words begin to carry weight. You no longer speak to fill space. You speak to deliver meaning. And when you master this, people lean in before you even open your mouth. Fifth thing, I value 3 words that go deeper than thank you. Thank you is transactional. It acknowledges an action. You help me change. You solve my problem. I value you acknowledges the person, not the task. It says, I see who you are. When you tell someone I value you, you are acknowledging their character, not their usefulness. And that changes everything. Marcus Aurelius began each morning, reflecting on the people around him, grateful not for what they did, but for the kind of humans they were. He knew that recognizing virtue is what keeps our own virtue alive. Use this phrase sparingly, but sincerely. When someone shows consistency, loyalty, kindness, that's what matters. Recognition like that builds a kind of bond that no transaction ever could. In a world that values productivity above humanity, being the person who sees others is revolutionary. Sixth thing, know the hardest word to say and the most liberating. People ask for your time, your energy, your attention. And even when you don't want to, you say yes, out of guilt, habit, or fear of disappointing them. But every time you say yes to something that doesn't matter, you silently say no to what does matter. Your peace, your focus, your growth. Epictetus wrote, "First learn the meaning of what you say, then speak." Every yes has a cost. If your yes means everything, it means nothing. Observe someone who has learned to say no. They pause. They consider. And if the answer is no, they simply say it without apologizing, without excuses. This clarity commands respect. Because when people know that your no is real, your yes becomes powerful. Boundaries don't push people away, they filter. They repel those who only wanted your availability and attract those who respect your value. These 6 phrases, curiosity, honesty, validation, silence, appreciation, and boundaries, are not social tricks. They are reflections of character. They don't require performance. They require presence. Be curious enough to listen, humble enough to say I don't know, kind enough to validate, calm enough to sit in silence, aware enough to recognize others, and strong enough to protect your time. The Stoics understood attraction isn't about adding more. It's about subtracting the unnecessary, the noise, the need to impress, the fear of rejection. The moment you stop performing, people finally start paying attention, not just to your words, but to who you are when you speak them. Have you ever heard that phrase, "I might be wrong"? That phrase is like dropping a humility bomb into a tense conversation. And look, it took me years to understand the power of this. Most people, when in a debate or discussion, go into war mode. It's me against you, my point against yours. And the more the conversation progresses, the more each person entrenches themselves in their own position. It doesn't matter if contrary evidence emerges, the ego has already taken control. But imagine you're in the middle of a heated debate, and suddenly you pause and say, "You know, I might be wrong about this." The whole room changes. People stop. Because nobody expected that. It's not admitting defeat. It's not being weak. It's being strong enough to hold your opinions lightly, not with clenched fists. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If someone can show me that I am wrong, I will gladly change my mind, because I seek the truth, which has never hurt anyone." What hurts is persisting in error and ignorance. Think about it. He was literally the emperor of Rome, the most powerful man in the known world. And yet he had the humility to admit that he could be wrong. But imagine you're in the middle of a heated debate, and suddenly you pause and say, "You know, I might be wrong about this." The whole room changes. People stop, because nobody expected that. It's not admitting defeat. It's not being weak. It's being strong enough to hold your opinions lightly, not with clenched fists. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If someone can show me that I am wrong, I will gladly change my mind, because I seek the truth, which has never hurt anyone." What hurts is persisting in error and ignorance. Think about that. He was literally the emperor of Rome, the most powerful man in the known world. And yet, he had the humility to admit he could be wrong. Most people confuse conviction with rigidity. They think having a strong opinion means never doubting. But true strength is having strong convictions and being open to changing them when better information emerges. When you say "I might be wrong," you are not weakening your position. You're showing that your priority is the truth, not winning. And ironically, that makes people trust you more, not less. Because if you're willing to admit error in an area, they know that when you stand up for something, it's because you truly believe in it, not because your ego is getting in the way. What's your story? For words that transform a stranger into someone memorable. And look, it's not about being intrusive or forcing intimacy. It's about recognizing that every person you meet is carrying an entire universe of experiences. Most conversations stay on the surface. What do you do? Where do you live? Questions any robot could ask. And the answers? Equally mechanical. But when you ask what's your story, you're giving the person permission to choose what to share. You're not steering them toward a specific topic. You're opening up space. And here's the trick. You have to genuinely want to know. It can't be a technique. It can't be manipulation. People sense the difference between genuine curiosity and social performance. Epictetus taught that every person you meet is fighting a battle you don't know about. Each one has invisible scars, secret victories, fears that even those closest to them don't know about. When you ask what's your story, and truly listen to the answer, you're saying, I see you as more than your job, your status, your appearance. I see the human being, and that's rare. So rare that when it happens, people remember. I met someone once at a conference, a place full of forced networking, business cards, empty conversations about what you do. This person arrived, and after 2 minutes of casual conversation, simply asked, "But what's your story? How did you get here?" 10 years later, I still remember that conversation. I don't remember anyone else from that event. This phrase isn't about gathering information. It's about honoring another person's journey. And when you do that genuinely, you don't just create a memorable conversation, you create a connection that can last forever. Does this make sense to you? That's the phrase of intelligent validation. And it's completely different from "did you understand?" which sounds condescending, as if you were testing the person's ability. Does this make sense to you? Places the responsibility on you, not the other person. You're checking if you communicated well, not if they understood. It's a subtle difference, but it changes everything. I've noticed this working with people of different experience levels. When you explain something complex and ask, "Did you understand?" the person will often say yes, even if they didn't understand, because they don't want to seem stupid. But when you ask, "Does this make sense to you?" you're creating safe space for doubt. You're assuming that if something wasn't clear, it might be your explanation that needs improvement, not their ability to understand. Seneca said, "While we teach, we learn." He knew that real communication is a two-way street. It's not downloading information. It's the joint construction of understanding. This phrase also reveals something about you. It shows that you care if the message got through, not just if you spoke. It shows that you value genuine understanding over the performance of appearing intelligent. And there's another side to it. When someone says no, it doesn't make much sense yet. You've gained a golden opportunity. You can clarify, give different examples, approach it from another angle. Their confusion becomes your chance to connect better. Most people are afraid of this feedback. They prefer to assume they were clear and move on. But true communicators actively seek out these moments of confusion, because that's exactly where learning and real connection happen. Use this phrase when explaining complex ideas, making group decisions, or simply sharing something important. It transforms monologue into dialogue and performance into genuine connection. What do you need right now? 5 words that separate those who truly help from those who just want to appear helpful. You know that person who, when you're going through something difficult, immediately offers 1,000 solutions. You should do this, try that. I know someone who... Good intentions, but completely wrong. Because sometimes a person doesn't need solutions. Sometimes they just need to be heard. Sometimes they need silence. Sometimes they need to laugh at something completely unrelated to the problem. When you ask, "What do you need right now?" you're giving them back control. You're acknowledging that they are the greatest expert on their own situation, not you. Marcus Aurelius wrote about being available to others without imposing yourself. Don't be intrusive with your desire to help. Ask what is needed. This phrase works on all levels, with a friend in crisis, with an overwhelmed colleague, with an upset partner, even with yourself. Seriously, how often do you pause and really ask yourself, what do I need right now? The answer may surprise you. It might be just to sit here with me. It might be to make me laugh. It might be to let me process this alone for a while. It might be, yes, give me some straightforward advice. But you only find out if you ask. And here's the most important thing. After asking, you must respect the answer. If the person says, I just need to vent, I don't need solutions, and you start giving solutions anyway, you've just proven that the question was just theater. That phrase only has power when it comes with a genuine willingness to listen and do what is asked, even if it's simply no problem, thank you. Real help isn't about you feeling useful. It's about the other person receiving exactly what they need.